we see the bans come out. Blacksnap bans the mage. Doesn't want anything to do with that tempo mage. Understandable. And Earl bans paladin.
Okay.
Which is respectable. That paladin can really get there a lot of the times.
It looks like we're gonna jump right in. And Blacksnap is starting on the druid, his absolute favorite, and Earl will be starting on the pally.
So we have a Murloc Paladin for Earl, which is always scary. It seems like that deck can always get there, and when it has that card on turn 1, and the next card on turn 2,
absolutely,
it's
that follow-up is gonna be like
it's tough.
It's so sad. Blacksnap's got a nice opening as well, though. He's definitely got some options. And if anybody knows how to pilot a druid in an unfavorable matchup, if this is considered an unfavorable, it's going to be Blacksnap.
Yeah.
For sure.
If anyone can come back from behind, and because now you're behind on board, right?
Right.
And Blacksnap can definitely play from behind, and it's going to be interesting to see Earl in the driver's seat, because in his last series he was always playing from behind.
Right.
And you know, sometimes that doesn't make you a bad player. It's just there's nothing you can do sometimes. You're
right.
just
Sometimes you have to be reactive. As opposed to be the aggressor. But in this case, Earl is the aggressor in this matchup. He has to put pressure on Blacksnap so that Blacksnap can't make those optimal plays that really snowball the board and then come up on Spiteful Summoner.
And I really like this play from Blacksnap. You know, your coin's valuable, but you don't have Spiteful in hand.
Right.
This hurts a lot, this top deck off the top. Allows him to trade very nicely. Even if he wants to trade, he probably doesn't. He's just going to go face. I think he killed the 1/1 here with the weapon.
Right. I'm surprised he's killing the 3/1 here. Usually you don't see that as often because you don't want to give the druid the extra mana. You want to make him trade.
Yep. You hold it off a turn. I mean, it doesn't. It's not something you want to do, but I'm not sure if it even matters at this point. Like,
right.
He keeps top decking the curves.
That's so
He's
true.
top decking and curving out. And there's sometimes just nothing you can do about this. And, you know,
Absolutely.
Fungal Mancer could come down next turn, but on what? Nothing. There's nothing left on the board.
Right.
Grand Archivist is cool, but not yet.
For the wild.
You play out the second one.
Yeah, and luckily Blacksnap does have Spiteful Summoner for turn 6. But he actually, I think, is that lethal?
He's not. He's dead. Yep. And if he's not, he can't do anything about it next turn. If he's not, he's at 1. He's at 1. And
a quick game 1 to Earl.
Murloc Paladin doing Murloc Paladin things. Just rolling people by turn 5.
Yeah, and Blacksnap's been in this position before. On his earlier match that was on stream, he started with the Druid, lost the first match, and then came back and won the next 3.
Yep.
So, not uncommon. I wouldn't be surprised if he switches decks.
I think he's getting a win with this Druid, and no one's going to tell him otherwise.
Fair enough.
But we could see him switch decks. You know, you don't want to queue in unfavorables, so it's Rogue and Warlock up, and I think either way you might just queue Druid, unless you queue your Rogue because you want to snipe his Warlock. But a lot of people have been playing Warlock at the very end. So people have been waiting on Warlock because they feel comfortable on it, so they're like, okay, I want to go up 2-0.
Right.
And then there's no way Warlock doesn't pull out at least one of these wins.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get reverse swept on Warlock, and it's hard to find 3 decks that beat Warlock.
That's very true. So Blacksnap's going to stick with his Druid, and Earl is doing exactly what you were just talking about. He's going for his Quest Rogue.
Yeah, the Quest Rogue here, it needs to be played well, and Earl can definitely do that. I mean, you
we
have
saw
Prep
him do it
Banish,
earlier.
and now if you're Tyrone, you're like, I just saw 1 UI. Please. Please do not draw the second UI. And you know, I would blame Ben Brode, but it's not really his fault anymore if that happens.
We can't blame him anymore. It's sad.
That is not a UI, so we're in a decent spot. It's nice to see that. Now Earl here. Oh, yeah, you're going to coin that out every time.
Immediate.
And 2 vanishes is really nice, too. So, and Vanish is so good against Spiteful Summoner in a sense. If you can kill the Spiteful and send the 10-drop back to their hand, what are they doing from now on?
Absolutely.
Both of these players repping fairly shiny decks. Shiny hands.
They are.
I, for one, am too poor for golden cards. But you know, to each his own.
Yeah, the only golden cards I have are the ones that you like earn.
I mean, that's really all that Earl is playing right now.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I guess maybe I jumped the gun, but that's a golden Lich King for Blacksnap. I mean,
that's true.
I hope you like
Golden
my
UIs.
So I think he might just pop off on the he might just pop off on the Novice Engineers, which is always nice because you get so much out of it. Like, you get so many.
Absolutely, but it does have a downside, is that you can, if you're not tracking properly, then you can burn the quest. I've seen it happen.
I know it can happen, but I don't see it happening to Earl. I see Earl.
I think he's navigating this very well, so I don't foresee that happening. But that is always a consideration.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time I think I saw that happen was in a tournament, and it was Omega Zero at a huge ACT event.
No one's invincible to it. That's for sure.
Yeah. So.
It's just it does taking this line does cause you to make some plays suboptimally. It costs you to throw cards out of your hand. Like, 'cause even here, Prep Vanish, like, awesome, but now your hand's full.
It might be better, yeah.
Drink with me, friend.
Because you play 2 cards, get 2 back in your hand. He's not gonna Prep Vanish here. And if I'm Tyrone, I'm silencing this.
Absolutely, every time, especially since he has both Spellbreakers in his hand right now.
Or you could, depending on the trades that are made, we'll see if he trades. Yep, so now you definitely silence. Or you Fungalmancer. I actually do not hate Fungalmancer here either. Kel'Seth Fungalmancer is very enticing, but I think you definitely want to hero power this down. Pushing 10 to face is never bad. And I mean, on Earl's perspective, like, I just took 10 to face, but I also baited out another buff. So now when I
Prep Vanish,
they're not going to come back the same way. Yep, and here comes the Prep Vanish, or just Vanish. It's going to be Prep Vanish.
I hope you like my invention.
Right.
And that Glacial Shard is big for later. It's a huge defensive tool.
Yeah, especially it's going to be especially important that Earl really is very careful with what he's doing with his defensive tools since he's at such low health. However, earlier in round 4, when he managed to pull out so many Glacial Shards, it was amazing, honestly.
Something interesting to note is that the Siege is the best minion to pull when it's going to get vanished, because you can play it for not 10.
That is very true.
Because it gets reduced. So say Earl goes wide, you can just drop a free Mountain Giant.
Right.
But now you use second one, and then what happens? It happens again. All you're doing is buying turns at this point.
Yeah, Earl's in a bit of a tough spot here. He's at such low health that he really has to be clearing the board pretty much every turn. But at the same time, that doesn't bring you farther to your own win condition.
He gets another Kel'Seth.
All the Kel'Seths.
We're burning Grand Archivist and we don't care because we're not trying to draw 5 cards anyway.
Right.
Proof is found in death.
Oh my gosh.
Eventually you're going to get the big boy.
Yep.
And we are 1 turn off of Valera, but we do have some serious bouncage on these Glacial Shards.
That's true. He could
Although,
repeat what he did earlier.
How many Novices have been played? That's the question, because he was sort of going in on Novice, so now he's going to use all these bounces on not Novice. And unless this completes the quest, which it might.
I think with that many bounces,
I hope you like my invention.
he might be okay. Well, he's completed the quest now. And he's going to use it right away.
And he's going to bounce and...
Right.
Yep.
I like this a lot. This
But
is pretty great.
we have Fungalmancer and... Oh, wait. No. We have Spellbreaker. And
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be over.
Yeah, so Spellbreaker will melt
Free
the
up.
ice.
No, it will melt the ice. There's only one way to melt ice in this game, and it's with...
Silence.
Spellbreaker,
Any
silences.
silence effect.
And Earl just saying, like, hey, man, I'm going to kill you next turn if you don't kill me this turn. But alas, I
Unfortunately.
think the lines have been seen.
Blacksnap has the answer.
That is a 12-12 to the face. No one likes to see those unless
Absolutely.
you are Blacksnap right now. Taking game 2, and we have
Yes.
a 1-1 series. It's all knotted up, and you like to see that.
Absolutely.
You like to see that. You like to see a solid series. You want to see this go to a game 5 all the time. Last match of the night. We've
Make a
been here
good
all
one.
day.
Yeah, we have.
Get here to game 5.
All right, so Blacksnap has his Druid win, and he has Quest Rogue and Q Block.
It's
Left.
both players have Quest Rogue Q block left.
Oh boy. Okay.
So I venture to say we're going to see a Quest Rogue mirror because no one wants to Q block.
Right.
Or Q block mirror, but I think it's a Quest Rogue mirror right here. Right here, right now, Q block mirror, or Quest Rogue mirror.
We will see.
Hey,
You're
I was
right.
right. Cool. Good for me.
Good call.
Well, if you think, like, you might accidentally Q into an unfavorable.
Right, right.
No one wants to see that. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
You don't want to Q into an unfavorable. You know one of them is unfavorable.
Oh my gosh, this is a good hand for Blacksnap.
Yeah, Blacksnap with a strong opening hand. We haven't seen Earl's yet. Not as strong, but maybe you keep Scale Hides. You have 2 of them, so it's worth considering the keep, right?
Right. I think he might have already
Mulligan.
mulliganed.
They had the green border though, so maybe not.
Maybe not. I don't know. I think it's a fair keep.
Mm-hmm.
Blacksnap is running the Firefly Igneous package.
And it just got there for him.
Yeah, that's a good hand.
It's quite a good hand.
More novices.
Yeah, well, just draw cards while you're at it. Why not, man?
Yeah, especially because he only has the 1 bounce right now. So he's definitely going to need to be looking for some more.
He really only needs 1 more, so like 1 bounce kind of. 1 or 2 more bounces. And he's there.
Right.
He also needs to find a way to kill this off. We don't live in the world where you run backstab and backstab your own Igneous Elemental anymore. We used to live in that world. It was
We
an
did.
interesting world. But we don't live there anymore. We live in this world where you have to kill it on your own.
So sad.
There's the bounce.
Aha.
Justice is mine.
All right, so
If you're- Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say we see Blacksnap working on getting this Igneous
Yeah.
Elemental killed.
And if you're Earl, you're starting to see what's happening.
Right.
You saw a Firefly, you see an Igneous on board. You're starting to think, maybe this guy's gonna kill me soon.
Right.
So that's why he's expediting this process. He's saying, we gotta move. Uses the prep though, which is an important tool.
Yeah. Decides that it's definitely worth it to draw more cards, get his bounces, because he needs to complete the quest as well. Not just prevent Blacksnap from completing his necessarily.
Because the thing about Quest Rogue is the inevitability. Eventually that quest is going off.
Justice is
Eventually
mine.
5/5s are hitting him in the face.
That is so true.
So we've seen 2 played. Obviously we won't play the next one because that's all 3. That will be a terrible overextension that punishes him most of the time.
That's true. He'll get 2 more, possibly on the next turn with the Shadow Step in hand.
Now, I don't know, maybe I liked Novice Engineering there instead of tempoing out the 1/2s, but it's really up to interpretation. I think, you know, getting them out of your hand is really important
Right.
before you Novice so you don't overdraw that quest like we talked about. We have the Shadow Step so we can bounce all around. Vicious Scale Hide, very strong tool. You can Zola it and it's even stronger.
Do you think Earl's going to try to complete the quest on the scale hut?
I believe he is, yes.
Prep?
Now, this is insane because he can prep Banish, and then he's able to play both of the flame elementals again.
Right.
So I would be surprised if we don't see that line taken. I think maybe you trade off. I think you trade off one of them into the scale hide, so he doesn't get it back.
Justice is mine.
Maybe you don't want to, but like this is quest complete if you do that next turn.
Right.
And you have prep, but you don't have
That's
prep.
true.
You're using prep for Banish, so you do that prep Banish next turn quest complete. You can't play it, but you can complete it. But you know we're looking at some different lines here. I definitely.
Blacksnap decides to go it to draw more cards.
Justice is mine.
I think that's valid because he doesn't want to vanish the Zola because that's going to give Earl way more value.
Yeah.
And get him closer to completing his quest.
I think it's one of those things where when we see his hand, we know it could work. But when we look at, like, there could be a bunch of bounces in his hand, and the last thing you want to do is give him one. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean,
Ooh,
that could happen
Sonya.
too. Sonya is
I hope you like my invention.
Sonya's a card.
a card. It's a good card.
It is.
And I mean, there we see, like, now his play might actually work out because the shadow steps come down. We're going to have a bunch of scale hides at this point.
Right, and now it's probably more prudent for Blacksnap to hold the prep banish because Earl's going to be establishing a pretty big board.
Yeah. I think the mirror comes down to how quickly you complete the quest. And
Right.
now we see 3 on the scale hide. We have not a bouncer here.
There once was a man from Gilneas.
There's a bouncer. We can bounce that back and then complete it next turn with a prep, right?
I believe so.
So you bounce that back. Yeah, play that.
Me, friend.
Yeah, prep that.
Justice
So
is mine.
you just have to kind of hope that he doesn't have a card like Sonya in his hand
Right. Which,
to where Vicious Scale Hide gets insane amounts of value.
yeah. This,
But the quest comes out for Blacksnap a turn earlier. So he doesn't have prep, so he cannot play this quest,
right.
which is very important. But he does have a bunch of charges in hand, but so does Blacksnap.
I hope you like my invention.
Right, so Earl's going to try to get as many minions on board as possible, but unfortunately Blacksnap's going to complete the quest with prep on his next turn. So, ooh, so much value.
So many vicious scale hides.
Absolutely.
And we are certain he's going to complete this quest, right? He plays 2.
Yeah,
Should be 4. Yep.
5.
And this is 5. I think you prep it. I
Yeah, I
think
would
you gotta
agree.
prep it. Because you want to kill that Sonya before he goes 5/5/4s into your life and you're sad forever.
Yeah.
Freeze face. You force him to vanish, which he's not doing. And if he's vanishing, he's not playing
He's
his
not
quest.
playing the quest, right?
But even you don't necessarily force advantage because you quest and you play 3 charge minions. So
Right.
it's an interesting order to see someone play the 2/1s first and then turn them into 5/5s. I don't know. I'm just used to seeing people play all of the quest first and then play
Right.
the first. But I mean, it's
This wax
negligible
elemental is a really good card.
Yeah.
So I think Blacksnap.
So as long as Tyrone's okay with taking 5 to face, he's okay. But now, does Earl go face?
Which he should.
Because if Earl goes face, he kills all these chargers, and that's not a bad thing.
Right.
Or if Earl doesn't go face, he kills all the chargers, and sometimes you want to get rid of all the chargers as quickly as possible, but also you're kind of worried about you know, some bounce effects, and I think it's just smarter to trade. He trades one of them possibly, and this sets up lethal with Boar, Vanish, Boar again if he doesn't do anything, if no minions die.
Right. So Blacksnap's is looking to see, he's counting.
Justice is mine.
So he doesn't have lethal. He can deal 15, 20, 25, I believe.
Chill out.
He's trying to see how he can.
Chill out. Chill out.
Decides to.
Well, because
Okay.
this wasn't
Yeah, I
lethal,
see
so
what-
he
Right.
had to do as much as he can. I think he saves the last one for like charger banish, or he just goes in and just says, have the vanish, boy. But
Right.
little does, I mean, Valera on 9 is very, very
Ooh.
strong, and he gets 2 chargers out of it, and now
You cannot escape the shadow.
now he's in trouble.
Yeah,
Now
he
he's in trouble
is.
because the boar can be 2 boars. Or you could
That
go
is-
boar. Wait, this sets up lethal, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, this is lethal. So it's boar, vanish, boar, boar. Ain't that something?
Yeah. Damn.
Actually, you just have the shadow steps. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, you don't even. He's gonna use the vanish
Or you
anyway.
could boar, boar, vanish. Yep, that's fine too. You know, Quest Rogue Mirror, it's a tough one. You gotta move. It's
Yeah,
all
for
about,
sure.
because like we see Tyrone get the quest off first, or Blacksnap get the quest off first, but like in a more value-oriented Valera type matchup, you gotta move. You gotta move before turn 9 because you miss a whole turn.
That's true.
And
I think
a lot
Earl's
of
the only
damage.
one who actually brought Valera in his quest rogue.
Mhm.
I haven't seen anybody else playing it. Which honestly, right now, looking like a good tech. Looks looks
it's easy
solid.
to play Monday morning quarterback like that, right? It's easy to say right now.
Yeah,
it's a
that's true.
great tech card. It just won in the game
Yeah.
single-handedly. So yeah,
He
I
also got a
say it's a good tech
ton
card.
of value off of the scale hides with Sonya.
Mm-hmm.
That was really well played, well sequenced, and really helped clear that board in the mid
None
game
can escape my fury.
and put him in a really great position. So Blacksnap's going to stick with the rogue, and Earl's on Q block.
No, I mean this is clearly a rogue favored matchup.
Yes.
But when you have a hand like when you have Mountain Giant in your hand, it becomes slightly less favorable as you go along.
Yeah.
But he's also on coins, so he does face a bit of an issue with
Right,
know,
the timing's a
the
little
timing's a little off, and then it ends up being a turn later sometimes.
Yes. Also, Blacksnap has that Glacial Shard ready and waiting. Oh, there's the Firefly.
Justice
He
is
could also
mine.
Glacial Shard and Zola the turn it comes out, so he's able to
True.
Glacial Shard and then bounce the Glacial Shard back.
The end is coming!
I like this. Doomsayer on 3. It's a classic handlock type play.
Yeah, but the Quest Rogue, like, I feel like you need to pressure down the Quest Rogue, and all you're doing is slowing yourself down a turn.
Justice is
Playing the Mountain
mine.
Giant forces him to have a mountain. That forces him to have the answer for the Mountain Giant.
Right.
But I do like it does like clear up the board for your Mountain Giant.
Yeah.
You know, your Mountain Giant doesn't have no one to hang out with, and he likes it that way.
It's very lonely.
He's a mountain. just him.
Ooh, Shadow Step's nice too.
And now we're starting to really get bouncy out here.
Absolutely. So, it looks like Blacksnap's gonna work on completing the quest with the boar.
I mean, it's interesting, right? So, I personally like completing it with like a more proactive minion, but boar can get there. You have 2 in your hand, right?
Right.
So that's the thought process, is that maybe you pick up a vanish or you pick up something like that, and you know you see weapon and you're like, oh man.
Not only that, but every point of damage to the Warlock's face really counts before they can get out the Void Lords.
Yep.
Because it also limits how much they can tap and take damage from their own cards as well. Blacksnap's hand is very fast.
A lot of chargers here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep going face, and you hope you get it. You hope you get like
Justice is
Vanish is like
mine.
beautiful because it sends everything back to his hand. The weapon pulls it out next turn, but you're not that upset because it buys you a turn, right? So
Yeah,
but you can also cube pact now, and that's scary.
right.
Also, Defile's pretty good. I venture to say Defile is a pretty good card. Some would
Yep.
say. Some would
would say
consider it
that.
a decent way to clear the board.
So I think the ultimate pickup for Blacksnap would be
Vanish.
that Vanish.
That's good too.
Picks up Sonya. That is good.
He can complete the quest,
Come.
and with the
Try your
with the prep, he will be able to play the quest. But I mean, now you're just in a tough spot. Like he's already established this crazy board. I think you can get back, but it's hard to, right?
Absolutely. It's especially hard because Earl has the other Void, which has now come out, and he has Gul'dan in his hand.
Yeah, that Gul'dan is gonna be spicy. I don't think
Absolutely.
Blacksnap wanted that to happen. I don't think he wanted to get that much value out of that.
You can see Blacksnap is not happy.
He's not feeling it.
Checking out the decks.
Your magic shall not save you.
Yeah, I mean,
So the Spellbreaker here to just stop Sonya from
yeah, he can kill
creating
something
more
with that.
value.
Yep. I mean, I guess you fan. That's not what you care
Not
about.
quite.
You're definitely just gonna bottom right. And Earl
smart move.
running away with the series on the slight unfavorable there. I mean, that's why I think it's so hard to target cube, and that's what I was saying
Right.
in some of the work I was doing. It's so hard to target cube.
That's so true, and especially when you give it 3 chances like that, it's almost impossible not to get one win.
Yeah, I mean, it had 2, so it had the unfavorable, and then he had to win the mirror. So
Right.
it was possible for Tyrone to win the favorable, and then take it to the mirror and get there. But I mean, the way Earl plays a lot of these decks, it's tough, and I think he's
I think he played it extremely well.
watching today's play. I think he's a solid favorite for like to go pretty far tomorrow.
Absolutely, both of these players are in the top 16. Nobody was up for elimination on this match in particular.
On the stream. Now
On the
everyone
stream.
else in the room and online are playing for their lives. There's a bulk of players playing
Yeah,
for
yeah.
their lives, and tomorrow you will see which ones survive, which ones fail. The brackets on smash.gg.
Yep.